You're listening to America's Diesel Podcast.
Ben.
Yeah.
Tyler's beard got a little long.
It did. I was about to say, hey, everybody, welcome to the Dynomite Diesel Podcast. We're both wearing Dynomite Diesel shirts.
That's right. Best in the world.
Special guest host.
Yes.
Because today Tyler's not here, so guess what? You've gone from guest to host.
Yes.
In like 20 seconds.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
This week's podcast episode is brought to you by Fuel Bomb Diesel Additive, an additive designed for diesel enthusiasts, made by diesel enthusiasts. Ben, take it away.
Hell yeah, dude. So this is our in-house Fuel Bomb fuel additive for your diesel truck. Our biggest thing here is making sure that you can pretty much always have diesel additive on you all the time. You've got a lot of other additives out on the market that they have, anti-gel in there all the time. They have cetane in there all the time. They end up being big and bulky bottles. Our standard everyday diesel fuel additive is 1 ounce per 32 gallons, and that's its main job is to make sure that your fuel system stays lubricated and prevents the formation of algae. And it should also help you in colder climates too.
Should definitely help you in colder climates. Along with cleaning your fuel system and maintaining it, it'll also help you bump that cetane number up for a more efficient burn of your diesel fuel. And if cetane is just what you're after, there's the Fuel Bomb Hellfire, which is our straight 8+ cetane enhancer.
Yeah, and you guys asked, and we brought them back. We did go away from the bottles that didn't have the measuring little parts in there. We brought them back for you, so now you can measure out your 1 ounce per 32 gallons for the F-Bomb or 4 ounces per 32 gallons for the Hellfire.
Both these additives are available on our website, dieselpowerproducts.com. Now let's get back to that episode.
This is Ben and Mitch Correa.
Yep.
And Cory. Coming at you from Spokane, Washington. Just so there is not any confusion, this is America's Diesel Podcast, because I know if I don't say that, someone's going, oh, this is the wrong podcast.
Even though it's the same exact intro and the same voice.
Something sounded like change. Anyways.
We even heard the eagle.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. You can find us on Google Play, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can find us by searching America's Diesel Podcast. You can also check out our Instagram, which is America's Diesel Podcast. We go live on there every Wednesday right around 5 p.m. Pacific time. Come have a little beer with the boys, talk a little bit of crap, tell us what you got going on that weekend, just all around check in. We do also have a Facebook page. It's America's Diesel Podcast - the group. 3 custom questions you must answer. Yes, they are open-ended. I am the only one who verifies them. The surefire way to not get accepted and get declined is to not answer those questions. There are many right answers. There are many wrong answers. Do your thing.
I gave you guys hints before.
I know, he has. I'm trying to keep out the bots, and I'm also trying to keep out people that don't actually listen to the podcast. So, not because I'm trying to be a jerk or anything, but we've cultivated a pretty sweet group of people in there. Imagine like a really smart jalapeno. It's like
on a stick.
It's spicy. It's smart. It's on a stick, so it's got an attitude. It's got something up its ass.
It's got something to say.
Reviews. Tyler usually does review. Do you think you can do the reviews?
Let me try.
Okay.
5-star reviews only. Send in to podcast at dieselpowerproducts.com. And Ben will definitely not going to send you a sticker. Just fucking forget about it. You're not getting one. No, just stop. Don't even. Because I know goddamn good and well you're not going to send them. Because 2 years ago, I should have gotten a t-shirt.
Did you not get a t-shirt?
No. There was a thread on the Facebook page about guys that were like, yeah, I didn't get t-shirts either.
Because we sent a lot of t-shirts out.
Never got one.
Ironically, we have t-shirts we can give you.
Weird.
Okay.
Oh yeah, on all the
on all those streaming platforms that Ben mentioned earlier.
That's what it is. I couldn't remember that part.
We are off to a rip and start. If you need parts for your diesel if you need parts for your diesel truck, make sure and check out dieselpowerproducts.com. You see that quick ship logo. It's verified, in stock, ready to rock. If you have any questions, make sure and reach out to our knowledgeable sales technicians. They are on the phones 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday. Let them know you are a podcast listener. Receive absolutely nothing monetarily. However, should something arise with your order, we will get you taken care of lickety split because we play favorites 100%. Also, if you are placing an order online and the order notes section. Make sure you write the word podcast. That way I can tally those orders up every month. Lets the guys upstairs know that we're not down here farting around drinking beer and talking about diesel stuff, but we're helping people sell parts or helping people buy parts because I'll be honest, guys, shit ain't free.
Helping the diesel world go round.
Yeah. Money makes the world go round, and we're in it, and we need to go around. So let's get this episode started. As you've probably noticed, Tyler's not here. He had a little bit of a family emergency he had to take care of, but Mitch was already driving here, so he got automatic. It was like a field promotion.
Yes.
To co-host.
Yeah, I'm not even a guest. I get to host now.
Get to host.
This is legit on-job training.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, on job.
So, and you've also got about as much pre-work as me and Tyler put in these episodes. You came in, cracked a beer, and we sat down.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you're up to speed.
We didn't discuss anything beforehand, so yeah, we're all on the same page.
So for those of you who have never didn't catch any of our previous episodes of Mitch or don't know who Mitch is, Mitch, who are you?
I work for Dynomite Diesel Products. I am the only mechanic that works at Diesel Dynamite Products. Dynomite Diesel Products. Wow. Yeah, that's me.
You know them affectionately just as Dynamite.
Yes.
There is 2 words after that, but pretty much everybody knows them just
It's
as
just Dynamite.
It's
Yeah.
Dynamite, yeah.
Yep.
Lightning Reed, Dynamite, synonymous, same type of deal. Believe it or not, though, I would say the neck to body ratio at Dynamite, Lenny does throw it off. Believe it or not, though, most of them do have necks.
Yeah, he is negative neck.
Yeah. I call him the Trap Lord.
Trap Lord.
Then we also mentioned that he would should buy him a necklace.
Yes.
That'd be a big necklace.
I don't know what size it would be, but anyhow. Yeah. So, first things I want to talk about with you, Mitch. You have an excursion. I'm going to open myself up to this conversation, even though I don't want to.
I think it treated you well a couple of weeks ago, right?
A couple weeks ago it did, and then it straight up let me down. Like side of the road. Wife very unhappy.
I'm pretty sure that's when she made the post and then tagged me in it, and
Yes.
I didn't respond. I was like, I can't do this right now.
Yeah, the alternator decided it was done charging, threw a new one on it, and apparently it wasn't charging either. So we went ahead and left Oregon back up to Post Falls where we live, and yeah, we made it halfway before literally everything but the engine shut off.
Mm-hmm.
I had no blower fan, no lights, and it's 9 o'clock at night. no gauges, nothing. But somehow the Fickum was still going. No idea how it was still running. We made it to the truck stop. Thank God.
That I'm not going to say it is, but I feel like that's a Ford thing.
I hope so.
I've had 3 Fords on 3 separate occasions, like 3 different trucks that have, by all means, should not have been running, but happened to just get that way while it was running. I had a Ranger, an F-150, and my first Power Stroke that did that. Like
Really?
It was just like nothing.
I was watching the voltage on my CTS, and it got down to like 6 volts.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, it's like impossible to be running. And then the CTS shut off, and the engine was still going. I was like, I don't know what you're doing, but just keep doing it.
So for those of you wondering, if the CTS shuts off, that means that the OBD2 is no longer getting power.
Yes.
That means that basically the truck's on like...
Which is like, how is
It's
the
a cadaver.
ECM have power?
It's like when you cook seafood and like it hits the boiling water and it starts
Right?
moving around again.
It's a freaking mummy.
Yeah. It's a zombie of a truck.
Yeah.
Did you figure out what's going on, or is it still just pissing you off in the corner?
Oh, no, it's sitting in timeout.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got 2 new alternators on it, and it still hasn't fixed itself, so I'm hoping a timeout might fix it.
Yeah.
Unlikely, but I'll try.
Did you do any other diagnosing, or is it still just on timeout?
Oh, no, it's on timeout. It got 0 diagnosing. It got an alternator on the side of the road. That didn't fix it. It got trailered home. It got shoved off the trailer. Actually started and drove off the trailer. But like
Standard 6.0 shit.
But I can just watch the CTS just dumping voltage as it runs. So I don't know. Like the exciter, it's not getting a voltage from the exciter for some reason. I don't know. I'll freaking jump it to the battery. I'll figure it out.
Is it a dual alternator 6.0 by chance?
No, single alternator. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. Kind of made me mad, so it's kind of sitting.
Were you watching Thick and Voltage on the CTS?
No, I wasn't. I thought about it, but I was like, it's not going to matter because if it shuts off, it shuts off. Yeah. I was watching Battery Voltage and I could watch it dwindle, so I knew I could stand on the throttle. It didn't go any faster. So I was like, yeah, Thick and Voltage is like 32 volts or something probably.
It's basically like, hey, injectors, fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
Ping, ping.
Fire.
It was like the quietest 6.0 ever.
Yeah.
Ping, 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 ping,
Can you
ping,
fire
ping,
for me? Thanks. Yeah, fire. When normally it's like, fire. Just fire.
Yeah.
Hey, just ping, ping.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was fun. Boys Weekend, it did killer. Had like a 4-inch foam mat from like Amazon, like a bed topper, and a full-size mattress topper fits perfectly in the back of an Excursion and is an excellent camping mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Boys Weekend,
so much fun.
You have to let us know your dog's name.
So I got a little corgi puppy. He's 8-9 months old. His name is Lieutenant Dan because why wouldn't you name a corgi Lieutenant Dan? He ain't got no legs.
He got no legs. He's just a Zorro guy.
He's awesome. I love him. He's got the freaking awesome personality.
Oh, man.
He's got that standard corgi, like, I'm just happy to be here.
Oh, yeah.
Touch my butt.
Exactly.
I'm a good boy.
Yeah. You scratch his butt and you made his day.
Yeah.
I just thought the name was fantastic.
Yeah. My wife, she lost her phone when she first got him. And so she didn't get to like publicly announce his name. So I like jumped on my Facebook like, his name's Lieutenant Dan.
It's done.
Yep.
Done.
Public. Everybody knows it now. Yeah. She and the kids call him Henry. That's like his papered name, but it's Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, I like that better.
Exactly.
I figured they would at least just call him Dan.
Like she told the breeder the story, and the breeder's like, "No, his name's Henry."
So now the breeder's all pissed off. Like,
I was like, "No, that's my dog. His name's Lieutenant Dan. You tell me what I name my dog."
it's Lieutenant Dan, dumbass. Oh shit.
Yeah, good stuff.
So, do you think this is going to be the end of you and the Excursion, or are you going to get it figured out? Did it make you that mad?
Oh, it made me pretty mad.
I bet it did.
And the wife, I can almost put money on the fact that if it'd be like, hey, let's go take the Excursion for a road trip, she'd be like, nope. So I have a feeling the Excursion may be short-lived. And it may be getting traded off for probably something that is like diesel that's 6 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it'll probably get traded off for a Cummins of some sort.
Why don't you just stab a Cummins in it?
I have engines.
You do. And
It just doesn't.
of all the people that could just stab it in, I feel like you're probably the best stabber.
Right.
Oh, I'm pretty good at stabbing. I don't know. I won't do it.
No?
No. I'll say like, maybe, but I won't. I got other cool stuff I want to do. I don't want to swap a motor in Excursion. I don't like it that much. It made me mad. So I've lost all like, I kind of like the Excursion to like, you could be for sale at any moment. I just don't like you that much anymore. My first take into owning a power stroke and instantly, I'm kind of done with it.
Yeah, the only response I had that I was going to mention that I didn't, and I don't know why I'm mentioning it now. So if you hear something loud thud on the microphones, because Mitch just reached over and just punched me in the fucking face. Here it goes.
You're not good enough mechanic to work on a power stroke.
Oh no, it's probably even worse than that. My response was going to be like, whoa, hey, just so you know, I daily drove my Excursion for almost 2 years before I took it on a road trip, so anything like this would have shown its head already. I've not been hit yet, so that's a good sign.
It did go through my mind where I was like, but I have made like 3 trips. Mm-hmm. So like the first 2 weeks I owned it, I put 1,000 miles on it. Like the second weekend I owned it. Mm-hmm. So, 1,000 miles in my mind, she should be fine.
There's something about that once you get the long trip, hot, heat soak, it's gonna rear its head there.
It did something. Yeah. There's a wire shorted, broken, something. I'll find it. And it'll be for sale. Anybody's looking for Excursion, hit me up. 60. It's all yours.
I might. Do I need 2 excursions? Absolutely not. But
Why do I need any more Cummins? I don't, but I want one.
use the facts.
I own like 5 or 6 Cummins. Like what? But my kids are 9 and under. Nobody can drive for the next like 9 years.
But they're all set.
They're all saying, oh yeah, like my dually. I was messing with my oldest. I drove one of Lenny's trucks home to put miles on a set of injectors. Mm-hmm. And I told my oldest, I was like, he comes out, he's like, where's the dually? It's like, oh, I traded it for this pickup. Swear to God, he went inside and started bawling. Because he was like, you sold my truck. It's like, I'm kidding. It's just at the shop. I'm kidding. It's like, calm down, man.
But I appreciate the commitment.
Yeah, he keeps telling me, he's like, and when I get in high school, I'm driving that truck. It's like, well, I'm taking the wheels and all the horsepower out of it because you're not scratching my 20s, and I'm going to put power to it. And if you want to drive it, it's coming out.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when I was in high school, my dad gave me his chipped 7.3. Had the super chip on it.
Hell yeah,
rowdy. If I saw my kid driving how I drove that, I'd beat him like my dad wanted to beat me.
Oh, dude. Especially like the first, I remember the first time I put a tuner on my 96. I could have, I swear I did wheelies.
Oh, yeah.
It's Tony Wildman tunes back in the day.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, custom ordered. Took him, keep in mind, this is like 2012. Took him 6 weeks to get to me. 6 weeks I ordered it, and I waited. And I was like, this is going to change my life. And I swear to God it did. Could have swore it did wheelies. There's probably like a 200 to the tire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this was this crew cab long box 4-inch lift 35s, 5-speed pickup. So it's like, it made no power, but you could just clutch dump it. And it had, like 8 inches of block under the rear spring. Mm-hmm. It was like riding a horse. It was terrible. I don't know how we didn't break anything in it.
Because Ford. Yeah. That conversation is going to stop there. But. So, Mitch, what are you working on at Dynomite right now in the shop?
I'm assembling the engine for we call the Baja truck. It's your guys' Coyote Hunter?
Coyote Hunter, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm finally getting the engine assembled for that. Mm-hmm. Horsepower-wise, I don't know. It changes. One time it was 600, and then we started talking like outrunning TRXs and Raptors, so it turned into 1,000. So I don't know. It's very possible to make 1,000 horsepower and just be like this, just rowdiness. Mm-hmm. I'm excited either way because I just want to go jump it off a dock.
Yeah, it's got suspension for days on that.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
I think for those of you that have not seen it or know what it is, there are lots of old forum posts about this. This truck was starting to be built before I even worked here. Which would have been like late 2014. We do have, I think I still have actually a picture on my phone of it being flexed out in our old shop. And it's like forklift and wheels all still touching the ground. And the tread of the tire is like my neck.
I believe it. That thing's got wild suspension. If you go to the Dynomite Diesel TV, our YouTube channel, you see a glimpse of it in the background. I talk about it just real quick in one of the videos, like the shop tour video. It's pretty cool. Working on it.
It's like without the bed on.
Yeah, it's wild. That's
just like airbags on it.
It's like 3 feet under the front tire.
Yeah,
on a Cummins.
This video's gonna take forever to go on there, but yeah. This thing is wild. It's a 06? No,
it
was an EFI Live truck, wasn't it?
No, it's an 848 truck. So it's I think it's an 0405 with a super old school way of managing a new ECM on it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, where it's all getting changed out. But yeah, it's like I think it's an 0405 truck.
At one point, it is, yeah. Yeah, it was an 05. We called it the 05.
Oh, okay.
And that's why we had, so that we actually tried to run a true twin setup on there way back in the day.
Really?
We had 2 small EFRs on there with equal length tubing on it.
Did it actually work?
No.
Were you here for it?
Yeah.
Didn't work at all?
Could never get to one right. We had it started and drove it around, but I actually have, I'll pull that video up. It's probably one of the gnarliest sounding trucks. That I posted a very, very short video of it on our Instagram way back, and it got an absolute Okay, so this is the a different truck, but we were doing the exact same on it. Trying.
That is so weird.
Start that over again real quick.
Sounds terrible.
Everybody's like, what's been done to that? I want my truck to sound like that. That sounds so different. And I was like, you do not want this. I can tell you right now, because we've been working on this truck for like 3 fucking years. And we still can't get it right. But yeah, I think our biggest pitfall was that we had 2 small EFRs on it. And we started using EFRs because SXEs weren't out yet. And we got married to the platform. And trying to work around the suspension on the front of that truck with equal length headers.
Yeah.
Fucking nightmare.
Yeah, because we had Lenny had a set of compounds put on it, and even that was like some crazy piping just to make fit. Like it had, did you guys have the remote mount oil filter on it and stuff? Yeah, like it was crazy. But just trying to get that engine out of the truck was like, I could normally have one out in like 3-4 hours, and that truck was like most of a day to get the engine out of, just trying to work around all the suspension that's in the engine bay. It's wild.
For those of you wondering what we're talking about around the engine bay, because it's got basically chassis stiffeners all the way around it, big boy shocks, the crossmember going over the engine almost by the cowl, if I recall correctly. Yeah,
it's like right down the center of the engine, and then it's got your shock hoops literally go to the hood. Mm-hmm. Like, so if you imagine like where the bucket would be, just cut that off and then just put a massive loop in there.
Super convenient. And then add in there 3-inch diameter shocks. And springs.
2 of them.
2 of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes life real easy.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, we tried like hell to get that thing tuned right. We even tried to, because we basically exceeded what an 05 computer could do, and tried to
at the time,
yeah. And tried to make convert over to 06 running. Mm-hmm. So I had EFI Live, and even then still couldn't get it just to do exactly what we wanted to do. And so that's why I ended up with a single 66, I think, when we sold it, or when Lenny got it.
I don't know. I never.
It was a 69.
I don't know. I never saw it that way.
We basically, and it had a ZZ Fab head at the time. I think it still does.
Yeah, it's got some ported head on it.
Yeah. But yeah, we were just tired of it just sitting there. We just wanted it to run and actually drive. So we got a single 366 on there, and the injectors we couldn't even remember what size injectors were in it. I actually think, I'm sure it has your guys in there now, but I think it actually had fleece injectors in there from way back.
Whoa.
For those of you that don't know, Fleece used to make injectors.
That's
I think it had a set of Fleece, like hundreds.
I didn't even know they made common rail injectors.
Yeah.
No kidding. Huh.
They're actually really nice. They were really good, high quality injectors.
I'm sure they were.
Just like everything else they make.
Yeah. Fleece is good stuff.
But yeah, and so we had it tuned enough, and I think Cooper drove it to the dyno, and Lenny was there, and was it Jared that was doing it? I can't remember who was doing it.
Oh, I bet it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Cooper's instructions to him were like, just, tune it to where all the parts are happy. I don't want it to be strung out. I know it's going to make good power. This thing doesn't need to make a ton of power. It's got a ton of suspension on it. It's geared. Mm-hmm. It's got, big tires, built transmission, tons of suspension. Again, like, I just want this thing to work and drive. Yeah. And it's settled basically like right at about like 650 or 7, I think is what it was.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And Cooper drove it back here, and he was like, dude, that truck is super fun now. It is like, you stop it, get sideways on the freeway. It's awesome. I love it. You can just curbs, suggestions, fuck all of it. And then we're like, oh, sweet. He's like, yeah, we'll try and take you guys out for some rides tomorrow. Like, all right, cool. Yeah. And we come back, and we're like, where is he? He's like, Lenny bought it. We're like, hey, we didn't even get to see it. He's like, he just... Brian's impression of Lenny is my favorite of anybody's.
Oh yeah.
He's like, yeah, I guess Cooper was like, he was there looking. He's like, yeah, I want it. How much? And he was like, I don't know. And he threw a number. I was like, oh, okay. And it was done. Yeah. I was like, shit. And then it got blown up.
Yeah. It was. I did a compression test, and it was like 120 psi It's like, well, that's not enough to run.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what Cooper called it though. He was kind of like, I told Lenny. Nothing against Lenny. Lenny's relatively new to the long travel suspension stuff. Lenny's great at sled pulling. Lenny's great at drag racing.
Yep.
But when it comes to any of the nicer suspension stuff, he's getting into the game. Like he's starting to understand and get what you pay for. And there's a lot of cool stuff out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cooper's like, don't fucking tune this thing anymore. Like just leave it the way it is, and you go out there and stomp on it and have fun.
Yeah.
Like this truck is ready to just eat whatever you want to throw at it. Like literally try and drive it like a side by side. Go out there and just fucking rail it. And then I think a week later is when we found out it was blown up. Yeah,
because I'd put money that the injectors instantly got swapped. Jared came back out, retuned it. Lenny does what Lenny does and broke it.
Yeah.
Because if Lenny doesn't do what Lenny does, I don't have a job. So
that's the fucking best description I've ever heard.
Right? It's literally what my job is. Like he's on his way home from UCC. He broke the truck. He's limping at home. So like as soon as that truck gets home, I gotta tear it apart. So
you're the mad scientist in Fast and Furious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't remember what he says, but yeah.
Yeah. They give it to the mad scientist. He's got to tear it apart, figure out what happened. Yeah. Overnight parts from Japan.
Yeah, overnight parts from Japan. Yeah.
Okay. So, Cory.
Yeah.
Do you have... So, there was a lot of Dynomite trucks here this weekend. For those of you wondering, today's Monday. We had our Gears and Glory on Saturday.
Yep.
Today's Monday the 5th. The Gears and Glory episode's coming out Tuesday the 6th. So this episode is technically coming out after Gears and Glory. But did you get to check out any of the Dynomite trucks that were here?
I did finally get a chance, like towards the end, to look at his race truck. Mm-hmm. And
the wife's race truck.
Oh, yeah,
yeah. Clear that up. She'll come over here.
The race truck. And I was pretty stoked on that just because I had my 04 and I always thought it would be cool to do it.
Oh, yeah.
But never got around to it. And something to haul the Toyota around is, a little bit better of an option for me right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I spent like 3 or 4 hours polishing all the aluminum on that engine the night before Friday night.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I kind of let it get away, so I had to do a bunch of polishing on the motor.
Yeah.
But it looked pretty good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The valve covers are a little hard water stained. They need to come off and be redone, but it looked snazzy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I didn't even look at it.
You didn't?
Nope.
You should feel bad.
I almost didn't.
Yeah, me and Cory, we just started BSing, and we just wandered over there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because I was so swamped with trying to make sure everything went well for the live stream and make sure all the audio was squared away and handing out T-shirts and all that fun stuff. That
you didn't hand out very many T-shirts though, did you?
No, like 1 or 2 maybe. I don't know. What we should have done is just left the T-shirt buckets out there.
I know you guys did towards the end. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, towards the end you did, and they were picked clean.
Yeah.
People were just hammering through those boxes.
We honestly should have did that to begin with.
Yeah.
But whatever. We
should
should just set it right by the stage.
We should have just, independent of we just separated by size.
Yeah.
Who cares about what designs what? Just separated by size.
Right. Grab your size and go.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know my kids grabbed handfuls of extra smalls.
I was giving people 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's there's a large open hand. Oh, well, there's 5. There you go.
And this is a big paw.
Yeah. You got big boy hands.
Yeah. So I did see the old race truck and was pretty stoked.
Yeah.
I do still want to see the square body though.
It'll get up here eventually.
Yeah.
It doesn't run. It hasn't ran since 19. I'll get it. I'll get there.
Yeah.
It needs a transmission.
When you say get it up here, is it still down in Oregon?
Yeah, it's at my dad's house. That's my storage. He's got 11 acres. So he uses 5, I use the other 5 kind of deal. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's all my projects are down there.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll get it up here eventually. Once I get a transmission for it, we'll go back to hunting down the VE record with it.
Well, racing season's starting too, right?
Yeah. About maybe a month ago. We've hit up a couple races now so far.
Nice. How's it done?
We got second place down in Yakima.
Oh, yeah.
At the little Renegade Diesel race down there. We got second. I think she ran like a 1290. Still trying to dial in the new P-pump on it. So it's got a new to us from Lenny, and it's a monster 12 millimeter pump. Like, it'll eat 13 mil pumps.
Oh, wow.
And plus, it's a 215 pump, so like it's got timing advance in the plungers, and yeah, it's a wild pump. Like the drive cam that's inside of it, they actually had to machine the bore of the pump out to fit this cam in it. Like, it's got such massive lobes. Mm-hmm. It's super rowdy. I just haven't been able to use it all yet. So
yeah, I know we had the truck on one of the Rate My Rides. Did you want to give like a rundown of what's all done to it?
So it's a 02 third gen 1500. So it's a half ton pickup, 2-wheel drive, long box, regular cab. Put a 12 valve in it that me and my wife built. She built the bottom end in it. It's studded top to bottom. It's got dynamites. It's got our comps in it, which I think are 82 liter a minute, they're pretty big. I mean, they're good for 1,000 horsepower. And it's got a 72 mil charger on it. That's about it. I mean, it's not like crazy. Like, I hand ported the head, and I mean, as much as you can with the intake shelf on it. And
right.
It's got a built 47 RE, 9-inch rear end. It's been running like about 600 horsepower. I'm getting kind of tired of it, so I cranked it up. So we go racing on the 10th here in Deer Park. There's like a little airport drag strip. We're gonna go to that, and I got a draggy for it. It's turned all the way up. We're gonna see what it does. It needs to go faster.
This weekend, huh?
This weekend, yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go see what it does, because in theory, it should make the turbo. The turbo will choke it. So between 800 and 900 horsepower is where it should tap with the current turbo that's on it.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll see what it does. I really want it to go fast. I want to run 770 index in it. Mm-hmm. So because we're going to, not this weekend, but the next weekend, there's a big race up in Mission, Canada. We're going to that for the NHRDA. Mm-hmm. And then was it like middle of July? There's another NHRDA event in Billings, Montana, and we're going to that too. So I want it to run 770 because I don't have a cage in it, so that's all the faster it can go, technically. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the plan with that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is a typical race day like? Getting it prepped and everything. What's that all consist of for you?
It's super simple. You just unload it, let it warm up, and just go drive it. Like, she hot laps the crap out of, like, if we go to like an open race day, I've seen her put 15 rounds on the thing.
Wow.
Just like, she just won't even shut it off. She'll just make a run and come back. So it's got a third gen, like, big Cummins radiator in it. It's like, you have to do a little bit of trimming to get it in, because a half ton frame is like 3 inches narrower than a heavy duty frame. So I got it to fit in there. So it's got a full size Dodge, a freaking Cummins radiator in it. Mm-hmm. So like on a cold day, I think takes forever to warm up, but you can hot lap it to death and it just doesn't care. And then it's got just a normal Cummins intercooler on the front of it, third gen intercooler. And it's got a transcooler out back with a fan on it. And I just turn the fans on. If she's hot lapping, the fans just stay on. Nothing ever gets above temperature. Mm-hmm. She can just hot lap. There was one time she was running. I didn't have the fan hooked up yet. And it was like early in the season, probably like March. And she was hot lapping the crap out of it. And I looked under the truck, and all the fittings are like push lock. It's like your hose fittings and stuff. Mm-hmm. There's like a little piece of plastic on the end of that fitting. It's always, it's just like a grommet for mm-hmm. looks. All those were melted off the tranny cooler lines. I was like, oh, that's hot. Yeah. We should probably take a break for a little bit. Let this
give
tranny.
It a minute.
Yeah. So like that weekend we dropped the oil and it was a little dark, but it wasn't burnt. So the truck is super easy. You just unload it off the trailer, let it warm up, check the tire pressure every round you go up. And that it's super clean, super nice. Good. It goes good.
Well, especially with the horsepower setup with that engine you have in there right now.
Yeah, it doesn't push anything to make the power. Like,
no, it's not working very hard.
No, it doesn't work hard at all. I mean, and it's got like are comp springs, so they're like 5,500 RPM free rev. So it like full fuels are like probably 5,300. And I like sitting it there. Like if I go drive it, I'll do a burnout and I'll just lay on the throttle and just let the thing just sing, because nothing sounds better than a Cummins just wrapped out.
Yes.
Nothing sounds as good as
Appreciate
that.
that so much.
Yes, I love it. Everybody, and like I'll talk to people like, oh man, I just have a hard time wanting to rev my engine past like 2,000 RPM. It's like, dude, it's an inline six. It'll take it. They're like, they're balanced. It's an inline six. They're balanced, better than any other engine. Just let it sing. They'll eat it. Like they'll eat it all day long. Cummins doesn't care. As long as it's got oil pressure, it'll take whatever you give it. And that engine's built for, like, it's just a stock rod, nothing special, just, ARP and everything. So, I mean, I think it's safe to 1,300 horsepower. So we'll push it. If I can make 1,300 with it, we'll do it. We can always spray it with some nitrous too. I've got that laying around. And then worst case scenario, if she decides she wants to go faster, which it needs to, the truck will go on a diet before it gets more power than probably 1,000. Because it's still full weight. Like it's got everything in it. The AC is in it, doesn't work. The heater's in it, it doesn't work, but it's in it. Full seats, full bed, everything. So the truck weighs like 5,500 pounds. Like we could probably dump, if you got crazy, we could probably pull 800 pounds out of it. And
is it still full interior?
Yeah, it's full interior.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, let me tell you. As a SoCal guy, I can absolutely appreciate the seats.
Got them leopard print seat covers.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah. The wife was like, I want people to know this is mine. So she went straight to friggin' leopard print seat covers. Like, well,
girl.
I don't see a man driving that. So you got it.
When I was real big into like trying to get a Jeep speed up and going, I had leopard print panels.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
So the dually.
Yeah.
You're getting ready to G56 swap that.
NV5600.
Sorry, my bad.
Yes. So hooked up with Andrew from, was it Long Range Gear? Yeah, Long Range Gear. Over, I've met him a time or two before, and it was just like a quick like business, like, hey, I'm here to drop off a tranny, okay, see you later kind of deal. Well, at Boys Weekend was a great opportunity to like make connections with people. So like Deer Park Diesel, which I've made connection, but now I like know Bergie pretty good now, I feel like. And then we got Andrew. So I hooked up Andrew, little tradesies here and there. I kind of have Cummins parts kind of laying around. So going to get a NV5600 in that pickup because my 4500 is done. It's got 358,000 miles. It's never been out. So synchros and third and fifth are shot. So you got like double clutch to get into gear. So yeah, it's getting a 6-speed swap. Once that's done, I'm going to throw a set of stage 2s, R stage 2s, all the pump mods, and a 62 mil turbo. And then I got to replace my front timing case because the dowel pin fell out years ago and it rode the cam gear over, blew the freaking case up. And it's got JB welded back together. Well, it's now the JB weld's finally failing, so it just leaks oil everywhere. So all this is going to go down. I got to get the Excursion fixed so I can drive it while I tear the dually apart. Which hopefully it's like a weekend project to swap the dually over. Yeah, so.
Circling back to because this is the same one that you did for the Rate My Ride, the live one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That one. The white one.
Somebody had like a graphite. That was a Dynomite Diesel one, right?
That was Jeff.
Yeah.
The long box.
Yeah. That one was pretty rad too.
With the ooey gooey tires.
Oh yeah.
Did you see his exhaust? I tried yelling at you, but
no.
He's got that truck has full titanium exhaust.
Why
I was trying to
not put that on the sheet.
I don't know. But yeah, that truck has titanium exhaust. So the guy he bought it from owned like a fab shop. Yeah, so that thing has full from the turbo. I've seen it. 4-inch titanium exhaust out the back. Like, dude, that's like a $2,000 kit, like at cost.
I saw my reflection in the tires. Like,
yeah, he had some pretty good, some good tire goo.
Yeah,
titanium. I'm still shocked that.
Yeah, it's a cool truck. Like it's clean. Like I'll give Jeff, like, he likes his stuff super clean, and he's pretty good at making it clean.
Yeah, I peeked when I was talking to him. I did peek my head in there and looked around. Yeah, and it is a very well kept truck. Yeah,
I took the truck once to put injectors in it, and I felt bad getting in and out of it because I'm like, I'm not filthy, but like, man, I'm a little dirty. I was like, okay, I'll go clean up a little extra, and then I'm gonna go flog your truck.
Yeah. I was gonna clean up before you take it out for a date.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got to make sure it runs good. You know, I'm putting injectors in it. Got to make sure it's squared away.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be coming here, I think, next week. He's getting some more Carly parts on there.
Nice.
If I recall correctly, I think he's getting some control arms and some other stuff.
I think he's putting like a full pin top in it.
Yeah. Because he does have some Carly parts on there already.
Yeah.
But he's just kind of rounding it out. So, yeah, I think he's going with pin top, control arms. I want to say maybe either full rear leaf packs.
Yeah, he's doing progressive leafs. Yeah, he's doing everything. I was like, man, he's
doing it right.
Wish I had that kind of money. Where do you work?
Yeah, for those of you wondering, I can confirm the ooeyest, gooeyest, most moist tire shine you're ever going to find. I believe it's from a company called, from Garrett's.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Me either. Didn't Google them or anything, but
they were shiny.
That thing looked like it looked like if you scraped your nail, you would have taken out rubber. It looked so gooey.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Dude, I used to think like mine was overkill, like on my white truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I got like really against tire shine after. So working in a tire shop, the guys that apply tire shine like habitually, by the time you get these tires to work on them, the sidewalls are like deteriorate. Like you can almost like grab the rubber and pull it off, and it gets stuck on everything.
Yeah,
and you're at that point, you're ruining the integrity of the tire.
Yeah, go to like a car show where like a bunch of old guys, and you just go look at their sidewalls, and they're just like you can like look at the date, and they're a couple years old. They look like they're 10 years old, sun baked tires. Yeah. Just like you guys put so much tire shine on them.
Yeah.
Since you're taking the place of Tyler here.
Oh.
When was the last time the diff fluid was replacing the race truck?
The race truck? That got done last year when I changed out the third member. So like, I don't know. What's that truck maybe has like 20 miles on it. So yeah.
Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler.
Everybody's doing their diff fluid, Tyler. Except Tyler.
Except for Tyler.
Except for Tyler.
I don't know. I'm bad about doing diff fluid too. I rarely change it. I don't care. It's oil. It's fine. It's dinosaurs in there. They'll be okay.
It'll be fine. Dinosaurs are durable as long as no meteors hit or
been 65 million years. What's another couple thousand miles?
Hey, these are indisputable facts. So with the 56 swap on the dually, what is the one? I mean, aside from the dually being completely, or the 45 being tatered, what are you most excited about having a 56 compared to a 4500 in there?
I want to get rid of that stupid 3/4 split. Like, have you ever driven a 4500?
I've driven a 56. No, I know of it because I've heard people tell me about it. Yeah,
right. It's like super known. Like third to fourth is like I don't know what it is exactly. It's got to be like 1,000 RPM drop. Like if you're hooked up to a trailer, because I mean it's a dually. It's only on 33s. It's got 355 gears. If you're hooked up to like my big trailer, and you go third to you have to be on the gov springs like 2,500 RPM and third, grab fourth as quick as you can and get right back in it before it falls on its face. So I'm excited to get rid of that and have a split between the two, and then you gain a slight amount, which I think I figured about 100 RPM drop in the overdrive ratio.
Yeah, I think
So I want to say the 45 is 0.75 and the 5600 is a 0.73.
That sounds about right.
It's not a huge difference, but in a Cummins it only that 12 valve only revs to 25, which I'm going to change it, but right now it only revs to 2500. Like 100 RPM goes a long ways on highway cruising.
Oh yeah.
And then I've also got a set of 331 gears that I want to drop in it too, because I mean it's on 33s, it's two-wheel drive. It's not hooked to the trailer that often. Like my wife's mega cab gets hooked to the trailer 9 times out of 10 because it has AC that works and it's more comfortable and way more horsepower. So, like, I'm not too concerned about pulling a trailer, but you've always got first gear, so not too worried about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to try some highway gears out and see if I can sneak it down like 300 or 400 RPM. And that would put it cruising 75 miles an hour at like 1900, which is like primo cruising RPM, peak torque. Yeah. So that's the plans with that one.
Well, and that it's also you know what you're getting into. Like you're not you're going 331s and then you're like, yeah, this thing's hooked to a trailer all the time, logging roads, barely going the highway. Like, buddy, you're fucking yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Trying to do it right where it's just because I just daily it, and to work is 20. It's like 20 miles to work, so I got some distance to put down. So I don't mind getting a little bit of fuel mileage out of it too, and letting it stretch its legs a little bit. Yeah,
well, especially with getting that extra gear split in there as far as like banging around town, you still get the fun of smashing gears.
Yeah, and if I don't have to work, because like that's the worst part is when you're in the middle of traffic and everybody's doing like 30 to 40 miles an hour, you're constantly dumping fourth to third. And my third gear is not happy with life. So on my way here, I was in the middle of freaking stop and go traffic. I was getting mad at my training, so it just started I just banged third gear every time, just fourth gear, back to third.
Fuck you.
Yep. I'm sick of you. You're getting replaced, so now I don't care.
Yeah. So of the Rate My Rides, there's been a lot of them.
Yeah.
And you can even count the live Rate My Ride that we did. Is there a particular truck, aside from your own?
Oh, damn, you took my... Okay. I only think I've ever watched one. I watched the very first one. After that, I would just listen to them. So I can't say I have a favorite that I've seen on the Rate My Ride. I mean, other than obviously the live one we just did, which the little shorty from the guys from Wyoming.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
That thing was nasty,
dude. That rap was sick.
That was a badass rap. Yeah, for sure. It was a cool truck.
No, that thing's gonna be pretty rad. I like how Tyler pointed out, hey, plastic end caps. You like to gamble, man?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, we popped the hood. It's so. Did you get to talk to him at all?
No, I didn't talk to him.
So I guess they were originally going to UCC. They were planning to go to UCC this weekend with that truck, and I guess it broke, and they weren't going to have a competition ready to go. They were like, "Well, we're still going to go somewhere this weekend, so might as well go over here for this."
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
So it's got a 369 on it to get going with it right now.
Oh,
but it'll have a. Oh man, he mentioned what the 69 over something. It might be a 480. No,
like an 88.
I thought you said a Garrett 55 on there.
Oh wow,
a GT50
GT55, like the new one. So it's like 98 mil.
I think so.
Holy cow!
I think that's what he said he's put on there. I'd have to go back and listen to the tape again. But that thing's gonna be rowdy.
Oh yeah,
that thing's gonna get down.
Yeah.
And his Ford's pretty cool too. I don't know. I'm not really good with really old Ford years, but it's like an old Ford, like before dead sides.
Yeah, that's right. It was a what do they call those? It's like this. It's not a swept line. That's a Dodge, but yeah, it's that body style. It's like, if early 60s, isn't it? Yeah, it was cool.
And it got 12 valve in it. That was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
The Land Cruiser.
The Land Cruiser. Bad. I saw it right beside, and then there was like right beside an EB Bronco. It was like both of them were just like perfect. Like they had diesel swaps, or no, the EB didn't. It had
the EB was
had like a 400 or something in it. It had a V8.
It was a manual. I know it was. I don't know what size engines in there.
I don't either. They were super cool. Yeah. I like both of them.
Yeah, the Land Cruiser. The part that did it for me was the color matched cooler in the back.
Oh, I missed
the paint
that.
scheme. So
I loved the paint scheme, like the original, I don't know what you would call that, the orange stripes on it or whatever.
Yeah, like old school, like Southern California beach retro.
Yeah,
like really sunset vibes.
Sunset vibes, yeah.
Super cool.
Warm tones and white. But yeah, as I was finishing up, I looked in the back, and the windows were tinted, and I see and he even has a mount for it. It's like this old school metal, like igloo cooler or whatever it is, and it's got the same swept that line going across it on the bottom.
Oh, that's cool.
And I looked at him and I was like, is that a paint matched cooler? He's like, yeah, with a custom mount. And I was like, oh, that's so sick. Like, never mind the valve cover mounted water to air intercooler. Never mind the steps. Never mind the twin sticks. Never mind any of that. The color matched cooler with the custom mount.
That does it for me.
That does it for me.
That's the X factor.
That's the X factor right there, my friend. Oh.
Dude, there were a lot of really nice rigs that showed up.
There was a lot. There was way more trucks than I thought was going to show up. Like I got here at 11, and the lot was full, and the event started at 12.
Right.
I was like, "Whoa!" I thought we were going to be early.
Yeah.
Oh,
we had a recap meeting this morning.
Yeah.
And so for when me and Wes got in, we finished kind of like the little odds and ends for cleaning up and all that kind of stuff. But then we're like, all right, let's, because we have usually our Monday morning meetings. So all right, let's sit down. Let's get like off top of our head because he and I were texting, Sunday and stuff like that. I don't want to forget this. I don't want to forget this. And we were like, well, we're going to be building a shop in the gravel, and Built for Ball is never going to be able to be used again because the new floor is going in. It literally, the timing was the floor came out Friday evening, and the new floor is getting put in right now
For
the building that
for the okay.
So it was literally like it just happened to work out.
Gotcha.
So we'll never be able to use that again.
Huh.
And then we'll have the shop in the gravel. Mm-hmm. So all the gravel is going to be taken up.
Yeah.
And so we're basically if we'll have a smaller stage next year for sure. But I'm thinking like we'll probably only be able to do like 25 or 30 cars.
Yeah.
Max. Like we could have parked them a lot better, but again, like I didn't know how many people were coming.
For sure. Yeah, it's the first one you've done, so you don't know. You have nothing to gauge.
Like we didn't want to set up a registration, and because we didn't want to deter anybody.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like next year, we will for sure have to have a pre-reg.
Oh, you'll have to.
Yeah.
And I mean, because I helped found a car show down in Ori, where I'm from, and we always you have early registration, and if you show up at the last minute, you might get in, you might get turned out.
Yeah.
You don't know. So like your benefit is to pre-register, and then we always charge people to come in, but for a charity, something like that. That's because it was a charity for like the high school kids, like the football team or whatever, and the volleyball team. Well, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we always had it's like 25, like 20 or $25. Like just you're coming, make some donations while you're here, register your truck, and then that'll keep guys like Peyton's nice Saturn out of the car show. It keeps those guys from bringing those in.
Okay, first off, he wanted to bring that to boys' weekend.
Oh my god!
It wouldn't have done
shit.
I thought I was slowing everybody down. That would have put everybody at a screeching halt.
It depends. How does he drive? It could have been leading us.
Nah.
It had to be pushed away.
The only way that thing would have led is if it would because I know he wants to lift it. If he had lifted and it had like mud terrains on it, I would have been like, all right. I mean, if you got a head, steam, head of steam going through the snow and kept the pin the entire time. Send it? He's rolled that thing.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, it's going to get driven hard. I understand that 100%. But yeah, we would have been digging that thing out all the time. But even then, on Friday, he's like, "I'm bringing this there." I was like, "The fuck you are!" Like and I think Cory even does it. No. He's like, "Can I bring it?" I was like, "No, don't." And then Saturday morning, lo and behold, I see his little blue fourth gen pull in and back up. Actually, I didn't even see it pulling it back up. Someone said Peyton brought his Saturn, and it was already off and unloaded, and the truck was parked. I was like,
it's just strategically just got it in and just unloaded it.
If I had to guess, he was like sitting at the gate watching me, waiting until I was busy. Because if I had saw him when the car was still in the trailer, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here! You take that, turn around!
But nothing had more attention than that car. Like that's what's wild about it.
I knew
because like what him and I were talking, and his exact words were, "It's a train crash. You can't look away."
No, it's true. You cannot look away.
Yeah, so I think more people looked at his car than anything else there.
It's like the only car show where you're going to have like literal $100,000 custom restored old school trucks and next to like a Saturn what is that, as SC2 or whatever, the 2-door coupes.
I don't know.
From like back in like the late 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah, it'd be that
with
era.
a hood stack and no
Dude,
fucking doors.
I was contemplating like not bringing the 4Runner because I was like, look at all the other rigs that are going to be there. Like,
Right.
the 4Runner is just not going to like fit in. But then like everyone's like, no, it's an off-road show too, so just
Well, the
bring
4Runner, it had its place.
and it's, you know, situational, you
Yeah.
know, but yeah.
No, that's
But the Saturn.
This,
it's
yeah.
freaking Saturn, right?
The beef jerky door.
Yeah. He's got this like piece of metal across it.
It's a it's a head chute.
Is that what it is?
Each door is one side of the head chute. That's
Oh.
why it's curved. It's a cattle catch.
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah, I was like, that's
He's a
kind
farmer.
of that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Peyton, actually, I'm not gonna lie.
He's a cattleman. But I think one of my favorites there was the GTO, the
Judge.
the Judge with no hood.
It was pretty cool.
That thing is the, in my opinion, there are two ways to have a classic car. There's
One.
that,
And then the Camaro.
and then the Camaro that was there.
Dude,
Callan's
the Camaro. Because the Camaro, that's a resto mod.
Yeah,
And like,
with the BMW seats
yeah.
and like nice brakes,
Yeah.
T56, and that thing, and
Like I don't know what it had, like an LS3 in
it
it or
was
something.
LS1.
LS1? Yeah. I
God,
liked
that
it.
Camaro is
Yeah, I
beautiful.
I liked it a lot.
Those are literally my two. Yeah, old cars can be either way, that one or the other. That's it.
Yep.
Like the Judge was done for me the way that honestly I kind of like it, but the Camaro is like the way that, like, how do I put this? Like, if I have an old car, I want to take my family around in it, and I want my wife to, like, yeah, obviously my wife is proud of whatever I'm gonna do. Like, I'm your wife. I'm proud. I could like get my pee in the potty, and she's like, I'm proud of you. You know, it's like, so it's not that big of a, but like, I want her to, like, when she gets out of this thing, you know, to be like, yeah, this is a fucking sick car.
Yeah.
And like, if I had the Judge the way that one was, she'd be like, yeah, he really likes this car. It's fucking ugly.
She wouldn't ride with you.
She wouldn't ride with me,
Yeah.
like, if or anything like that. But she'd be like, yeah, I get it. It's, you know, it's fun. It's a car, blah, blah. But there'd be no like chick factor to it. And I'm not building it for chicks, but like there'd be no.
Oh yeah, that thing's a straight up glizzy magnet.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you're
a
getting
car for dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the three chicks that like classic cars that were probably like, what's that one girl, the get in the car girl on Instagram, the blonde chick who rides around with basically like seatbelts over her tits and like.
Oh, I don't know.
Yes, you do, Mitch. No, you
I
don't.
don't have Instagram.
Oh, well, then yeah, you don't know. But her handle's like get in the car, but yeah, she would like it because she's like into classic cars. My
Yeah.
wife, she's like knows of classic cars, and she'd be like, it's a old car.
Yeah,
It's
yay.
loud. Yeah, and unless I told her what it was, she'd be like, I don't know, like Ford, Chevy, fucking Oprah, I don't give a shit.
Right.
Do the car seats fit in the back? Like, that's all I care about.
Do we take the kids?
Yeah,
Yes,
is
no?
there AC in here?
Yeah, the AC is
It's the windows.
window.
Yeah.
See this thing? Yeah, that's your AC.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Camaro was bad.
Yes.
Camaro was nice. I can't build something like the GTO. I tried doing that with my C10. Just like, I'm just going to throw an engine in it and go drive it. And then 2 years later, I was finally done with it. And it was way nicer than what I wanted to start with. Because like, I always get the idea like, I'm going to build a rat rod. And then I'll start putting like pieces together and it starts getting too nice. So like, this turns into like a restoration. Like, okay, I give up. I'm just not even going to try building something not nice. Because apparently I can't wrap my head around building something just shit. Like I build shit boxes, but I don't know.
Well, and then this is, don't take this as a non-compliment because I would get stuck in the same thing. But like, so you're like, okay, I'm going to build a rat rod. I'm just going to fuck this thing together. It's going to be fine. And you start doing that, but then your low level work ends up being better than what a rat rod should be.
Yeah.
But you're not putting your high level work into it. So then you end up with this like mediocre / shitty kind of resto mod.
And you're not happy
and you're
with
not proud of it. You're like, it's not a resto mod. It's not a piece of shit either.
Yeah.
And I either got to start all over or hit this thing with a hammer like 10 times.
Exactly. Like I got a buddy that like all he does is build rat rods, and like a month he can like just put a rat rod together. And it's just like, I'll go look at it and it's like, God, this thing's a piece of shit. But it's like, but you freaking drive it like thousands of miles. But it's like, I can't like put my name on that. Like I can't stamp my name. I just can't do it. It's impossible. I've tried. It just doesn't work.
I've done that with a couple of trucks, like the blue truck.
Yeah.
I was like doing things on it. And as I'm doing it, I'm like, Ben, you know, this thing has like a shit ton of miles on it. It's barely held together. Like, why are you spending so much time making sure like the contour of this is like perfect?
Right.
Why are you cleaning so much?
Yeah, I did that like my C10 build. That's like basically like my first big build. And I'd be like, oh, I can just use like this factory part. And then 3-4 days later go by and it's like, or I could buy this billet one. It's like the billet one looks so nice. But it's like, but I shouldn't spend the money. But the billet one keeps calling it. So then you just order the billet. So then before too long, you just got billet all over it. And it's like, well, now it's not a piece of shit rat rod.
Yeah.
So I can't win.
I feel like I would have to inherit a shit car or like buy a shit car or get a shit car.
I would have to
from
buy
a trade or something.
I would
like
have
that.
to get or like a trade. I'd have to get a rat rod that runs and drives, and I would just not have to build it because I can't build one of those. And it's just like, if you think about it, you're like, how could you not build a pile of shit? It's like, I don't know. I just physically cannot build a freaking rat rod.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just can't. I've tried. It doesn't work. So now I've graduated where it's like, I'm just going to build nice stuff. Hell with it. If it takes me 2-3 years, it takes me 2-3 years.
Yeah.
So that's like right now on a parts collecting to do 1970 international travel all. And I'm going to put it on a 3rd gen Cummins chassis. So I got a 6-inch lift. I'm going to do 37s. So it's got some movement. I don't have to worry about rubbing out. I got a 6.7 and a G56.
That's going to be cool.
It'll be cool. I want to make like 700 horsepower. Nothing crazy. It doesn't need to be a race truck. I want AC to work. I want heat to work. I want 3 rows so the kids can sit in it. The wife might get in it. She's not a classic car, not classic truck person. I tried building her 3 or 4 different trucks before she finally got to her 3rd gen race truck. I picked up a 1st gen. She's like, I want one of those. We picked one up. A week later, she's like, nah, I don't like it. Sold that one. Picked her up like a 67 GMC small back window. Super cool pickup. Drove it around for a little while. She's like, nah, I don't like it. So I sold it. And then we found that pickup for $400. Motor was blown up. Tranny was blown up. Forklift holes in the door, I'm pretty sure is what they are, or hay forks. It pulled right out of the field, took it home, and like 2 years later, it was built. Yeah, $400 is all we paid for that thing. So people are like, well, why'd you do a half ton? It was $400. Yeah. That's why.
$400.
For a roller.
Yeah.
I put wheels and tires on it. So, yeah, there's that.
Yeah. I built my wife a ZJ because she really wanted a Jeep. I know that sounds very stupid to a lot of people right now because like ZJs are dumb. Again, I got a ZJ for super cheap. It was super nice. It was like a 97 last year, the ZJ, if I recall correctly, or 98, I think it's last year. I don't know. Yeah, it was a 5.2. Is what was it? It wasn't a 5.9er. It wasn't a 6-cylinder. It was a 5.2. It was 318.
Yeah.
Automatic, seat warmers, all-wheel drive. Like, had like 130,000 miles on it. Did like the viscous coupler on it.
Yep.
Because it was rattling around, plugs, wires, all sort of kind of stuff. Got it all nice and running. Put a like a 1-inch spacer on the front just so it wasn't rubbing or wasn't raked anymore, and had some like nicer. It was a limited too, so it had like the nice limited wheels on it.
Oh, yeah.
And just got some nicer all terrains for it, like just so they didn't rub, just big enough so they didn't rub. That was it. Stereo in it. I think she drove it for like a week, and I built it for her. I got it all running right. and we were getting ready to post up her escape. Because it was before we were buying a house, so I'd already sold my excursion.
Oh yeah.
And we're like, okay, how else can we get out of, get rid of some money here,
Sure.
or get more money in? I was like, well, I got this thing on a good deal. I can either keep it, drive it, whatever.
Yep.
And so she drove it for a week, and I like cleaned up the escape, got all the pictures taken. I was getting ready to post it. I was like, oh, we're gonna get into a house like tomorrow. Fuck yeah. And then she was just driving. She's like, I don't like it.
Right.
I was like, you sure? You sure?
Yep.
She's like, yeah, it's not. I'm like, I know, it's a Jeep. It's older. I know you're going from a 2012 Escape, which is nice. I get it. To like, late 90s.
Yeah.
It's a big difference. A lot of things happened.
A lot of technology.
But does it get you to work?
Yeah.
And of course it had a, fuck, I don't even know if I want to admit this. So I had to do a water pump on it.
Uh-huh.
And when I did the water pump, I was rushing, and I double gasketed the front cover, and so it was still leaking.
Yep. And
so I took it off again and realized it was double gasketed. Got it all cleaned off, put it back on, and still leaking. And when I pulled it off, I nicked and cut the oil pan gasket.
Oh,
because it like dips the oil beneath it. So I'm like, fuck, now I got to do oil pan gasket. Didn't have a lift, didn't have anything.
Right.
So for me to get the oil pan off, I had to like jack the engine up out of basically while it was still in there, and the exhaust would not come off around the cross member. So I had to cut it basically right in front of the cross member. So it was catless with like a small muffler on it. So I mean, 5.2s, I'm just going to say they sound rowdy. Okay, I've had 2 of them. They sound a little rowdy.
They don't go anywhere.
No, they don't go anywhere. They're heavy as fuck. And they sound okay though. And so it had like a 2-chamber on it. When I gave it to it, that maybe was probably part of the reason. But I drove it for like a week beforehand. And I was like, well, I took it to Chad at Hanson, and I was like, hey man, I don't really care how this looks, as long as the exhaust goes out the back and this muffler's in it. I don't give a shit. And he's like, $100. I was like, okay. And like when I got it back, I was like, seriously, Chad, like this is like, if it takes more than 15 minutes, like you got to charge me more money.
Right.
Like I just don't care. This thing just, again, exit out the back, hangers, that's fine. And he's like, all right, man. He's like, I'm really busy. He's like, how fast do you need it? I was like, if you can get it done today, tomorrow doesn't matter to me. He's like, I'll get it done today. I'm like, all right, cool, man. And I pick it up after work, and he literally like slammed this fucker together. Like I got my $100 worth, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's like, where he like the sticks are still sticking off from where he welded it and all this other shit. It's like all the hangers are like the universal fit, like with the extra holes that are bent over with a plastic isolator. And I didn't rattle or anything. And I was like, hey, and he's like, I hope it's okay, man. I felt kind of bad, dude. It's like I literally slammed it together in like 15 minutes. Like, Chad, this is exactly what I wanted, man.
Yes,
like
sir.
this truck, this ain't worth it. Like, just thank you. By the way, it sounds great. Like I had an Aero Turbine like 2525 on there.
Oh boy.
The AR2525.
Uh-huh.
It's basically a glorified resonator.
Yeah.
Fucker sounded good.
Straight through.
Yeah, no
fiberglass.
Yeah. Maybe that's why she didn't like it. I don't fucking know.
I don't know. Oh, my wife won't drive anything that I think is cool. And I mean, the oldest thing she'll drive is my dually. Mm-hmm. And I've got like all sorts of, like I have a 62 Nova that's super cool. Like it has like, I don't know, 24,000 original miles on it. It's like I found it in the middle of a wheat field. Mm-hmm. Pulled it out, got it fired up, drive it around. She won't even ride in it. She's like, it's a piece of crap. Like, how dare you? Yeah. This is a 62 Nova. It's not even a Nova. It's a Chevy 2 with an inline 6 and a power glide. How dare you not ride in this thing?
Do you know how long it took me to acquire this?
Yeah. I had to scour for years to find something like this that I could afford.
Yeah. Notice the inline 6, babe.
That's the only engine option it had.
Budget.
Oh, man. The best. She doesn't love telling the story because she hated that car, but I had a Chevy Chevette with a Isuzu diesel in it. A 5-speed. They're super cool car. That thing would get 60 miles to the gallon at 65. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's all faster it would go. Well, there's one day I needed her pickup. So I had to pick something up, and she had to go to work. And I was like, well, just take the Chevette. She was like, no, I refuse to. It's like, I need the pickup. I need it. Like, I like maybe the truck was blown up or I didn't have one at the time. Because there's times when, you know, you're doing some financial, you just got to get rid of some stuff. So I just had the little freaking shitbox car, you know, $500. Like, it gets me to work. I don't care what it looks like. Mm-hmm. Well, to drive it to work took me like half an hour to convince her that she's driving it to work. Like, I need the truck. I'm taking it. Mm-hmm. So she sends me a picture of her driving it. And she has like 2 hoodies on and like hoods over her head and like Kenny, like South Park, like cinched down. Yeah, like nobody is going to know that I am driving this piece of
blocker
shit.
Sunglasses on. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She had like big sunglasses on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she doesn't like old cars. Like, she just, I do. I love old shit. I love keeping old stuff alive, but nope, not her. Her pickup's 11 years old now, so
it's getting out there.
That's pretty old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, God forbid you get something new. I mean, I only drive something from the 90s as a daily.
I seem to be stuck in the, like, basically mid-90s to, like, late 2000s. That seems to be, like, and it's mostly, like, literally, like, the 92 to, like, 05, 06. Seems to be all my cars and trucks have all been like right in there.
Yeah, that's like, if I get rid of the Excursion, I'm going to look for, and I want a common rail, 03, 05, maybe an 06. Because everybody, once you get into like the 06, the prices just blow up.
Oh, they go huge, yeah.
It's like, it's the same freaking truck. It just has an 849 ECM versus an 84. Like, whoo, whoop-de-doo. Mm-hmm. I could care less. I have HP tuners. Yeah. It's the same thing. So I want a crew cab long box, but I want, not a business console, but like the, what do they call it? A 40-40-20?
Yeah, bench seat with a flip out.
Yeah. That way I can put all 6, the whole family fits in it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. If anybody's got one of those, wants to trade for an Excursion, hit me up. You never know.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Post it up in the group. You never know what you're going to find.
I'll get it fixed. I'll probably end up posting it up. I want a common rail. Mm-hmm. They're fun to play with. I got injectors. Pretty cool.
If you were to just offload that Excursion right now, what would you sell it for?
I won't sell it unfixed because I'm not going to take the hit.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm that kind of guy that'd be like,
right?
Feed me your shit.
Ben's got money in his pocket just burning a hole.
Ironically, I don't. I just feel like I do.
That's how I feel too sometimes. Yeah. I'll start shopping on like Marketplace like I have money to spend.
Yeah.
And I'll see something like, oh man, I could almost, I couldn't even, I can't afford that.
What am I doing? Clothes, go to bed. Like, this is a bad idea.
Yeah. $20,000 cash only. I'd give you 15. I don't even have it.
Yeah.
I'd give you 15.
I got like $800 right now.
Right. Yeah, I got to feed 4 kids. I don't have any money.
Yeah. Shoot a message. You take 15? Yeah, you got it? Nah. Just checking. Checking.
That's just when you like, would you take 15? Yeah. And then you just like ghost. You're like, well, I didn't have it. So. Yeah.
So much that sit old bet.
Yeah. I just wanted to see if you'd do it. And now I wish I had 1,500.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to get ready to wrap this one up. Mitch?
Yes.
You've been a great co-host.
I appreciate it.
What's your favorite color?
I was gonna get there, okay? But actually, you know what I forgot to ask?
What?
Do you have any questions for me or Cory?
No.
Okay.
We're not that interesting.
Not that you're not interested. I mean, we talked all weekend.
That's fair.
Well, like Saturday, and then we talked all weekend, like a month ago. So.
Boys' weekend, yeah.
Yeah, boys' weekend. So
sometimes I like to throw that out there.
Okay. I got to quit. Do you have any projects, Ben, that you want to do? Is there a build that you've been wanting to do? Something that you're dying to build, not another fucking Excursion. We don't care.
Shit.
But like a 7.3 swap into a dent side or something like that.
I have to answer that question almost 2 different ways. There's the unrealistic and the realistic.
Acceptable.
Okay. The unrealistic would be like, I would love to put like an actual 7.3 Power Stroke into like a Centurion. Like
why is that unrealistic?
Just because I will never have the money to be able to make that happen, in my opinion. Especially when I have an Excursion. It would be redundant.
Yeah, but then you can have the Super Duty Excursion, and then you can have the OBS Excursion.
It's true. But
you see the Centurions. I mean, you see them for sale occasionally.
Yeah. And I mean, the swap would not be hard.
No.
It's just the hard thing with the Centurions
man hours.
is because if you think trying to find interior parts in certain parts or excursions are hard already, imagine a Centurion. Basically, none of them were built the same. And they're even more rare. And now they're even like 20 years older. Mm-hmm. So trying to get one and have it not be like a rat rod or have it not be like pieced together and fucked off. Like if I'm going to spend time to swap a 7.3 into it, I'm going to have a hard time not just stabbing it in.
Right.
And maybe I'll cross that bridge in my life. If I happen to get a Centurion super cheap and like for some reason it already has like F350 chassis or like a running gear on it with a solid axle in the front, maybe I will just slap a 7.3 in it and have fun with it. But the other thing to me also is like if I'm going to go through the time and effort of slapping a 7.3 in it, I should probably just put a Cummins in it.
I don't know. I think the 7.3 would be obviously you're not going to make your power is not going to be the same.
I'm not building it for power.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like why put a Cummins in it? Like why not just do something off the wall and put a 7.3 in one? Because like I like seeing I'm not a Power Stroke fan, but I like seeing there's like I can't remember what the guy's name was. He put it's like a 53 Ford or something like that, and he put a 7.3 Power Stroke in it, and it was like ridiculously clean. And 400 or 500 horsepower, and then that truck was rowdy as shit. But like I like seeing that kind of stuff. Like 7.3s and old Fords are cool. I mean, they don't belong to anything else besides a Ford. Like, they're cool.
I would say the more realistic that I think would probably be a good idea is I do want to get myself into a classic car. I feel like I've had a bunch of trucks, I've had a bunch of big vehicles. And my wife will never say like, "Oh, I want this car. I want to do something like that."
Right.
But maybe this is like the fault of being a car guy and like that. I want to build something that my wife is stoked on. Yeah. Like I know she likes the Excursion because of the functionality, but I want her to like if I built an old car, like an old school car, and she actually like put the time and effort to like pick the color that she thought it should be. Okay. I would be so excited. She had some input. Like, fuck yeah, dude. Right. Like I'm also the kind of guy like I would, if I ever got a nice paint job in a car like that, I'm that asshole that would get like, my name on the door and her name, ghosted in, all that kind of shit. Like I loved that. I seen that kind of stuff when I was a kid. Right. It's like, oh, this Barb's seat, this where she sits.
Like super 80s, 90s car. Yeah, I need to build.
It would obviously be probably something more from like 50s, 60s, or 70s or something like that. But that type of idea, like I want her like, this is, our car. We can fit the family in there. It's fun, it's fast, it's loud.
So you're like looking for like a 4-door or a wagon, or are you trying to go coupe?
I like wagons. I like 4-doors.
Same.
Like I do. I mean, maybe it's having a kids thing or something like that, but like, I feel like they're slept on. Like I love.
Not anymore. Try finding one.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I love the body lines of a wagon. Like,
dude, wagons are so cool.
So freaking cool.
They're long. They have the coolest body line, and the body lines are like 30 feet long.
Yeah, all the way.
And it's got windows for days. And then you get into some of them where they've got the reverse facing back seat, like the Vista, like the Buick Vistas and stuff. Oh yeah, I could dig wagons.
Yeah, as long as I could get, a good appealing body line. I'm a Ford guy, so I prefer a Ford of some type.
It's like a country Squire.
Yeah, or even just a big 4-door car.
Galaxy. I love Galaxies.
I mean, the go-to is the Galaxy 500, with the big block.
Oh
just big fucking. I want a manual.
That'd be cool.
I want a big cubic inch, and I would prefer no power adders except for a button if I want it. Yeah, but I want something that has just fucking dumpster fire of a cam in it. I want this thing, chopping it, but
that's the point.
But strung out enough to the point where when it's like go time to get this thing going, there's no like, I want to punch the throttle. I want World War III.
Yeah, like solid, like 500 horsepower big block. Like 500 horsepower big block all day long. It isn't going to give two shits.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. No,
Got that
big block thumpy. Oh,
big cube.
Diesel guy, but that'll give you a hard on.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very similar, except I'd like a bag Continental.
Yeah.
Oh,
I get into something like that too. Yeah.
My one of my cars, I'll build one of these days. It's was it like 62 to 67 Continental?
Yep.
I want to put a Cummins in it.
Oh.
And I mean, it doesn't have to make any big horsepower, but like,
I just want a cruiser.
I want a Cummins in one because if you set it up right, like my C10, I can get 30 miles a gallon out of that truck. So like super mileage, you got AC compressor on the motor. You could put an AC compressor or not AC, air compressor on it for bags.
Mm-hmm.
And a Cummins fits in that engine bay.
Yeah.
You just kind of notch out of the oil pan. So it's a little bit smaller of a motor. I'd love to do one of those.
That'd be rad.
They're expensive.
Yes.
And then to try and do like interior in those cars, really expensive.
Yeah.
So you have to, in my opinion, I would have to buy one that was not perfect, but really good. I would have to find one that had very good interior where all the trim is there. Because as long as all the trim is there, you're good. You can always have trim replated.
Yeah.
But as long as the trim was there, you could build a cool car.
Yeah.
The dark humor in me too is like, I would love a bagged hearse.
Oh yeah, I used to go racing with a guy on Rocky Mountain Race Week. He's got a big I think it was big block back then, hearse on like 33-inch tall, 16 wide tires.
Oh, it's rad.
Oh, dude, slammed on its nuts.
Yep.
Oh, that thing looks like a mile long.
Yeah,
they're cool.
Yeah,
yeah, big cubes in a manual. Ugh, that get me going. Just blow the doors off.
Oh yeah, you get 500 horsepower of a big block, and that is a rowdy motor. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I want that 4.5 miles a gallon.
Oh yeah.
I want to have that extra switch. Also, you just hear like another fuel pump kick on. Just, that's right. Somehow I'm going to cram a fucking fuel pump and just fuck carburetors in the face. Like just
nitrous.
Get it. Yeah.
Or a blower. I like blower cars. Blowers are cool.
Hey, what's your fuel mileage? I go through a gallon a day.
Yeah.
Does it matter?
Yeah.
Yeah, for you, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Does fuel mileage matter? Come on.
No, not in something like that.
You got a big block. I like blowers. I grew up, my dad, he's big into he's stuck in the 70s kind of deal. Mm-hmm. So that's like everything he's got a 70 Chevelle with a big block, and it's supposed to get a blower someday, and 871 just like macho man, fucking 1970s freaking drag racer stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I have a soft spot for blowers. They're pretty freaking cool.
For some reason, for me, the NA just gets me. The big power NA.
Yeah.
Like a good, as balanced as a big block is going to be.
Oh, you can get them built. There's guys that they'll frick 600 cubic inch, 9,000 RPM. Those sound cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. They sound really cool.
And again, with the manual, I've talked about it before. I have this vision of my kids in the back seat seeing, me and my wife.
There's this gnarly Jericho.
Yeah.
And
everything's fine. Like, oh, dad's car's loud or something like that, shaking. And all of a sudden, they get slammed back in the seat. But then I have this image at the back of my head of seeing, my wife is probably going to be like, hand on the fucking door.
Oh, yeah.
And then my left hand at like 10, 11 o'clock, and they see just me lurch forward, just grab a fucking gear, just giving her. And dad's all tensed up, fucking giving it.
Just clutch stomping.
Yeah. And the kids are in the back seat, and as soon as they go to switch, change gears, everybody leans forward.
Oh, yeah.
And there's fucking bam it right in. And just kids are in the back, necks are getting broken. My wife's like, not again!
Stop it!
And I'm all like, ah! What happened? The guy looked at funny, all right?
Yeah. He moved on me at the light.
Yeah.
That he engaged the race.
He engaged.
Yep.
And then you see, and of course that was basically pulling out of a gas station. I'm like, we gotta stop.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You
Sorry,
have to.
it's only 15 gallons. Like, we gotta stop real quick. Gotta fill up. See the gauge just shift.
This is 600 cubes of very thirsty motor.
Yeah. And my son is back there just yeah.
Yeah, just screaming.
My daughter, she likes to. she likes to growl.
Yeah.
I see that happening. Yeah.
I can see it. You painted a picture. I can see it.
Yeah.
I like it.
with a kind of a cracked wood grain steering wheel.
Oh yeah.
And like a single DIN Kenwood Bluetooth in there.
You don't need a radio in there. You
Probably
couldn't hear
not.
it anyway.
Not fucking hear anything. Yeah.
Fucking 4-inch cutouts underneath of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Probably I'd have exhaust going out the back with 6,000 fucking mufflers on it, so I could try and drive it normally if I wanted to. Yeah. And then something either on a button or a cable. And it's go time. And I want there to. I know there would be a difference obviously between mufflers and cutouts, but I want there to be a fucking stark difference. I want to put some Flowmaster 80 series, just something to hush the fuck out of this thing. I don't care if I have to put 2 aside. You have
true duals and you put a 40 on each side, and it makes them just Flowmaster 40s. It's just that's the noise you hear in your head when you think of a big block Chevy, Ford, whatever, insert here. You hear a Flowmaster 40, and that's just the perfect amount of blah, 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 blah. But then you get the cutouts right off the collector. That's where it's at, because you got to have those 2.5-inch primaries leading down to that monster fucking collector. Oh yeah.
So as soon as you hit that button, you as it's opening, you hear that first pop, and it's oh, what's going on? And it's just oh shit.
Just unleash hell.
Yeah. I can see my wife hands over the ears, God damn it.
Very unamused.
I've got 2 sons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So me and my 3 kids in the car.
That's what my wife says. My wife always says she has 5 kids because I'm just a big kid. It's well, yeah, you married me. You knew what you were getting into.
I've been this way since day one. All right,
I haven't changed.
I thought you would. You thought wrong. Okay,
Have you met my dad?
Yeah.
He is a 60-year-old man child. I am just like him. He has more toys than me, so I have to keep up.
Yeah. Unspoken bond for the rest of our lives. Right. Always in competition.
Always in competition.
Well, shit. That's going to about wrap this one up, boys. Greatly appreciate everybody tuning in with our newfound confirmed 2 female listeners. One of them, Judge73. You're pretty rad. I forgot your name. Kristen? Kristen. I want to say Kristen. I can't remember. Special shout out. There you go. But, ladies and gentlemen, Mitch, I've greatly appreciated you being filling in for Tyler on this one.
Well, thanks for having me.
And it was a pleasure having you at Boys Weekend.
That was a ton of fun. I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah. You were upstairs. Chris and his girlfriend were up there.
Yeah.
And she was you were there for this, Cory, but she was you guys should invite the girls next time. And me and Chris are no. No, Mitch chimes in, no, it's not going to happen. Well, why? It's that's why we did it on that specific weekend. And my wife still happened to be in there, and she's kind of looking up. I'm no, that's legitimately why we did it. It's the weekend after her birthday. It's before the weather gets nice. It's before Memorial Day. You guys probably don't want to go because it's cold and rainy. It was wet the entire time.
Yeah, it was cold, rainy, and then we talked about how the women's schedules would never line up.
Yeah. And
men's schedules are you available next weekend? Yeah.
Tight.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. Well, and then Chris's girlfriend, she's well, yeah, why don't you just schedule another one for the girls? Go ahead, do it. You guys schedule it. Yeah. You guys do it all.
Have at her.
You guys put your calendars together and figure out what weekend works, and we'll be there. And Chris is kind of looking at me, and he's well, I was no, Chris, there's no downside with this. Okay. We still have our boys' weekend.
Right.
And if their calendars happen to get together and it works out, guess what? We're going fucking camping, dude.
Yeah, right.
True.
There's no losing in this situation.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
We still get our boys' weekend. And if they manage to get the calendar, because we all know the wives, girlfriends, they have the calendar.
And it is busy.
The calendar. There are things on there you will never know about.
Nope.
And there are things on there that you should know about and you don't.
Yeah, I have a linked calendar on my iPhone, and my wife would be like, "Are you ready to go? What are we doing?"
Shit.
It's been on the calendar for 2 months.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't look at the calendar. I look at the calendar and go, "We're going racing next weekend. We're going racing the weekend after. Then we have a month break." That's my calendar look.
Yeah. But they have the calendar.
Yes.
And if they can fit a camping trip with all of us, because all of the girls are going to plan it, and they'll probably plan the food, and they'll probably plan all.
It'll be catered.
Oh, hell no. Nobody's planning our tri-tip.
That one they don't get. They don't get to touch our tri-tip.
I tried copying the tri-tip, by the way. I marinated way too long.
Oh, really?
Yep. There is a time that
was
is
it too
long.
busy?
Oh, it was you couldn't eat it.
Oh man.
Yeah. I was like, I feel so.
Maybe our timing is just right.
Whatever your timing was just right.
Because it was however long we went out for
overnight.
No, morning of.
Yeah, I set that up morning of.
Yeah,
before we went
I
out.
did overnight, assuming like who marinate overnight. It's always gonna be better.
Statistically speaking, yes, it is.
It was tender. It was like super tender, but it was like taking a shot of whiskey.
Huh.
So not good. So do not go overnight on a whiskey marinade. It is not good.
So yeah, I guess being said, do not go overnight. Do it morning of, or at least before lunch. We'll put it that way.
So you guys had like a 6-hour marinade?
I did it before we even put the winch, or before we even hooked the winch up.
Yeah, so it was about 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and then we got back, 6, 7?
Yeah. Okay, so like 8 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, so 8 hours is the time.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to know, write it down. 8 hours.
I need to, I should actually just post everything that went into that marinade.
You should, because I want to do it. Yeah. I want to try one, and I failed.
Honestly, I think that Scotch was the key.
Yeah.
It might have been. I with Bullet. I did Bullet whiskey, which I'm not a huge fan of. Mm-hmm. So I told my wife, I was like, well, I don't want to drink it, so throw it in the steaks and we'll try it. So I don't know. Maybe it takes a high quality Scotch or whiskey.
Well, I'll tell you that. That Glenlivet's not an expensive Scotch by any means. It's like a $40 bottle.
Oh.
Yeah.
It gets down.
Yep.
Yeah, I've tried it in this thing 3 times so far, but we keep finding more fun stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
That just means we gotta have it on again.
Yep.
Always.
Yep. We'll make Tyler have another issue.
There you go.
We'll kick him off.
I'll come back.
Yeah.
I'll always come back. You keep inviting me, I'll keep coming.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we greatly appreciate all you guys tuning in. And if you need injectors for your truck and you're not running Dynomite,
something's wrong with you.
Get fucked.
Yep.
Okay. Official statement. We love all of you. See you next week.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and check us out at dieselpowerproducts.com.